I once knew a narcissistic man that told his wife that she never listened to him, didn't care about anything that he wanted, was self-absorbed, and just lost in her own world because she bought the wrong kind of hot dogs when she went to the grocery store. As funny as this example may be, this is just one example of ways that narcissists overreact to everything. I'm going to explain in this video why everything is such a huge deal to them. Welcome to Looking Behind the Mirror, where we explore narcissism and take our lives back as we make sense out of nonsense. As a quick disclaimer, everything I say is based on my opinions and my personal experiences. I'm not a professional, and if you're really struggling, I encourage you to seek professional help. I am providing links below for you. If you've dealt with a pathological narcissist in your life, I'm sure that you can relate to the experience of having a seemingly normal day, maybe even a pleasant evening, or maybe even a fun time. Maybe you're eating dinner, or you're having dessert, or you're watching a movie, or whatever, and then all of a sudden, something goes wrong. You make a horrible mistake. Maybe you ate the last cookie, or maybe you drank the wrong soda, or maybe you put your shoes in the wrong place or something. You washed your hands in the wrong sink, and all hell breaks loose. And the narcissist just flies off the handle and starts accusing you of never listening and being selfish or whatever. And the night's ruined, and you really are left scratching your head thinking, why did they have to ruin a perfectly good night over nothing? As crazy as this seems in the moment, and it is crazy, there are many reasons that they do this. There isn't just one. And all of these reasons that they have for overreacting contribute to the problem, I think, fairly equally. There really isn't one main reason that they do this. There are many smaller reasons. One of the reasons is that they're already upset. Narcissists are always upset. And if you've ever been close to a pathological narcissist, you may have noticed, if you really paid attention, that they were always right on the edge of flipping out over something. They were always angry. Even when they're smiling, even when they seem to be having a good time, there's always this little bit of tension. There's always this feeling that anything could happen at any given moment and everything could change. Their seemingly good mood could switch just like that, for no good reason, no apparent good reason anyway. This isn't your imagination. Narcissists are always upset. They're always uncomfortable. They're always on edge. They're always experiencing some kind of angst or insecurity. They're always trying to fill this empty hole inside of them. They're trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. They're trying to feel something positive, or they're trying to dull negative emotions. It's like in the example I gave in the introduction, the husband wasn't really upset that his wife bought the wrong kind of hot dogs. He was already upset, and he may have been sitting at home stewing, imagining that his wife had somehow failed to make him feel like an amazing, awesome, perfect person. And so when she came home with the wrong kind of hot dogs, all that upset just got funneled right into something completely stupid. And so if it hadn't have been the hot dogs, it may have been that she got plastic instead of paper, or maybe she bought the wrong brand of milk, or maybe she didn't wipe her feet off when she came in the door. It would have been something else. So that's one important thing to realize, is that they're not necessarily upset about the thing that they're upset about. They're already upset. They're always upset. Another reason that narcissists overreact is that they imagine that they control everything. I went over this in my very first video, Why Are Narcissists So Angry? And my theory is that they imagine that they should be able to conduct everything. They should be able to control what everyone around them is doing. They should be able to almost point their finger and make certain things happen. Almost like they should be able to point their finger and make the traffic light change to what they want. They should be able to do whatever they want, and everything around them should be focused on them and their needs, and they should be able to control the world. And of course, this isn't the world they live in. And oftentimes they have to face reality. They have to face the fact that the world doesn't actually revolve around them, and that they can't actually control every little thing that's happening. And this makes them quite upset. And when they're presented with evidence that they don't control the world, this can cause them to overreact. But to them, they're not overreacting. To them, they're actually quite upset at this very harsh reality that they're having to face, that they aren't in charge of everything. But to an outsider, to an observer, it just looks like a toddler throwing a tantrum, when that really is kind of what you're seeing. Another reason that narcissists overreact is that narcissists take everything personally. Narcissists imagine that the whole world revolves around them, which means that everyone in the world is focused on them, which means that everything that happens is directly connected to them somehow. It's happening because of them or for them. Therefore, if anything happens that even slightly annoys them, they don't look at it as a random occurrence of something that's annoyed them. They look at it as something that happened because it annoys them. They look at it as a direct insult, and that's why they are so offended by things that don't have anything to do with them, because they imagine that those things do have everything to do with them. They take everything personally. So if somebody does something that a normal person would perceive as just a little bit annoying, when a narcissist is observing something a little annoying, they take it as a direct insult and they imagine that that person is doing it to annoy them. When in reality, that person probably isn't even thinking about what they're doing. They probably don't realize that they're annoying anyone, and they certainly aren't sitting there focusing on the narcissist and thinking about how much they're enjoying annoying this person. So this might be why a narcissist will just suddenly just get up and maybe grab something out of your arms or throw something at you, as if you've been having some kind of big argument that's never existed. This is why they can blindside you in this way, because in their mind, you've been sitting there annoying them on purpose for who knows how long. Another reason that narcissists overreact is because they trust their emotions to tell them what is reasonable. They don't understand that sometimes our emotions just get a little out of control. Sometimes we get a little heated in a situation that maybe we don't need to be so angry in. Sometimes our emotions just ramp up and we need to just take control of them, step back, and get a more realistic view of the situation. Narcissists don't do that. Narcissists look to their emotions to tell them what's going on. So if a narcissist gets really upset for any reason, they assume that something terrible must be happening. They use their emotions as the gauge to tell them how serious of an offense someone has committed against them. They trust their emotions over anything else. It really is the only thing that they trust. So they never stop and ask themselves, why am I so upset right now? They stop and say to themselves, wow, I'm really upset. Somebody must have done something really awful to me. Who was it? And they look for a reason, and they look for anything that they can lash out at. And this kind of leads into other reasons that they can overreact. One being that they just feel entitled to. They don't really have any functional empathy, especially when they're upset. When they're upset, they feel perfectly entitled to ruin anyone's day that happens to be unlucky enough to be in their path. They don't feel like they owe it to anyone to be civil, kind, patient, or compassionate when they're having a bad day. So if they're feeling bad, they're feeling frustrated, they're having a bad day, and you just happen to dry your hands on the wrong towel, well, you're in for it now. They're probably going to ruin your whole night, and it's going to turn into a 3-hour argument over nothing. They overreact because they're looking for reasons to blow up. They're already upset. They're looking for a fight. They're looking for something to vent these emotions onto, and they feel entitled, and they feel like you've personally offended them on purpose anyway. Narcissists are an emotional mess on the inside. They have a tornado going 24/7 that they have no idea how to manage. The only way that they can deal with it is to use you as some kind of punching bag, to use you as a scapegoat, to project the emotions onto you, to punish you for the way they feel about themselves, to survive minute to minute at your expense any way that they can. They are looking for excuses to blame you, to shame you, to keep you down, to keep your self-esteem down, not because they care about how you feel about yourself, not because they care about how you feel at all, but because it makes it easier to control you, it makes it easier to manipulate you, and it makes it easier for them to convince you that they are the center of the universe, that they are the smartest person in the room, that they are the greatest person that ever lived. So of course they're going to overreact at every little thing that you do wrong, because every little thing you do wrong, every little imperfection is an opportunity to remind you of what a miserable failure you are and how you couldn't survive for more than 2 minutes without them. I hope it goes without saying that this is a very baseless belief, and that of course it is manipulation, and that in reality the narcissist really is the one that needs you. Narcissists really cannot function on their own. They need constant validation or supply from the people around them. They need constant feedback from the people in their lives. And of course, they need people to insult and control and vent and use as a scapegoat so that they don't have to deal with their own emotions. They need you to carry all of these terrible emotions. They need you to pretend that all of their faults are actually yours. They need you to be some sort of emotional toilet for them, or they can't function, they can't get through the day. So this is why they overreact to everything, because that's how they're feeling. Every minute of every day, they are overreacting to everything because they're always upset. And I hope that you can eventually see that this is not your problem, and that your imperfections are not a good reason for somebody to fly off the handle at you, and that being treated this way is not okay. I hope you can see that this is not your problem to fix, it's not your responsibility, and that you really deserve so much more than somebody that will never grow up, that will never learn to handle their own emotions, and that expects you to suffer for their problems. I hope this helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below any ideas you have for me for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would like to see more like it in the future. Until next time, thanks. Bye.